Don't skip out on this free-to-play grind. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. It is part 2 of Dokkan's 8th anniversary celebration, and we have the awakenings for the 2 free-to-play characters with this year's anniversary celebration. The LR Babidi standby into Majin Vegeta, and the Fizz Hercule. Both these characters are actually kind of good. I think the Hercule got a little bit slept on, even the Babidi for a bit, but you know, taking a look at them, I think they can be quite useful for many free-to-play players. So in this video, we're going to talk about what you need to do to grind all of them out to have them ready for part 3 and their Extreme Z Awakening, as well as how to build their hidden potential, right? That's always the big question with these free-to-play units, right? So let's start by talking about what they do, and then we'll talk about the grind, and then we'll talk about their hidden potential. So let's start with the LR Babidi. LR Babidi, once Extreme Z Awakened, leads Inhuman Deeds, category key 3, HP attack defense 120%. He greatly raises defense for 1 turn on his 12 key and causes colossal damage with a high chance of sealing the super attack. On his 18 key, he greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage with a high chance of stunning the enemy. So both stunning and sealing, very, very useful tech there, right? As well as greatly raising attack and defense, right? If you were to invest some additionals, he'd be pretty defensive, but he doesn't necessarily need it, right? When you look at his passive, he gets key 3, attack and defense 140%. He gives extreme class allies attack and defense 30%, so he's a support unit, and a high chance of evading enemies' attack if there's a super class enemy. He's got key 2 and extreme class allies chance of performing a critical hit 10%, and plus an additional attack and defense 40% when performing a super attack if there is an extreme class enemy. So he's got some tech, whether you're facing extreme or super, right? Can still be useful. He can stand by after the 4th turn from the start of battle. Once he enters standby mode, he begins to build a charge as Majin Vegeta. He is unable to attack until the finish effect is activated, and while in Majin Vegeta, he gets key 3 and attack defense 120%, plus an additional defense 80% when receiving attack if key is 12 or more. So you really got to get that key with him. He reduces damage received by 30% when receiving attack if key is 15 or more, and attack 150% when the finish effect is active. So he's like the GT Duo Light, right? Without the revive. Now, if you manage to complete the full charge, right? 30 key or more, he raises his attack by 15% and causes super ultimate damage. If you do not get it, he launches the incomplete destruction and raises attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage to the enemy. So it's slightly weaker than before, but it still does a pretty good amount of damage even if you aren't able to get it. But either way, he actually ends up, for a free-to-play unit, being pretty powerful and pretty tanky when in the standby form. Ideally, that is what standby is for, provided you can get the key. So as long as he's around units that can activate his links, he's going to be okay. The issue kind of is his links, right? He's got a lot of the Vegeta links, which would work well on like a Majin Vegeta team. However, he would want to be more around outside of that in a more villain type team. Brutal Beatdown, Master of Magic, Majin Resurrection Plan. I mean, the links aren't the greatest, to be completely honest, right? He's not going to be linking too well other than like the LR Boo and Babidi, right? Or the LR Boo and Deborah, who actually should be up on, or not Boo and Deborah, Babidi and Deborah, who actually should be up on an EZA soon, I actually think, right? So, all in all, a pretty decent unit. The Hercule, on the other hand, he is Earthbred Fighters, key 2, or key 3, HP attack defense 70%, Fizz types key 3, HP attack and defense 50%. On his super attack, he massively raises his defense for 1 turn. He has a high chance of raising attack for 1 turn and causes supreme damage. So he's pretty tanky, right? Post super. He also has a defense 200 and a high chance of all enemies attack and defense minus 20%. At the start of turn, he gets attack 150% when performing a super attack. He gets key 2 and an additional attack and defense 50% and seals the attacked enemy super attack when there is another world tournament Tournament category ally attacking in the same turn, or World Tournament category enemy. He has a high chance of launching an additional super attack when the enemy is in attack down or defense down status, and performs a critical hit when the target enemy's super attack is sealed. So he's got some very big uses in early stages of Red Zone and some super battle roads. He also performs revive with 50% HP recovered when he is KO'd after the 6th turn. So I think he's the first free-to-play character with a revive on global. So he's actually pretty good. The defense raises he gets and the revive make him very useful, on top of being able to lower the enemy's attack with his passive. That can be very useful in super battle road. So, you know, he's a pretty fun unit to use, especially if you manage to get that revive off. So, excuse me. So, how do you get these guys? Well, let's start with the Boo and Babidi. The Boo and Babidi are recruited from the dreaded Majin Soul Reborn stage. He can be picked up from stage 1 running Worldwide Chaos for an increased drop rate. Because he is an LR, you're going to need to grind out 29 copies. Yes, that's right, I said 29 copies. And now hear me out. I know you're saying, Celtic, that's a lot of grinding, but hey, if you guys remember my 77 ticket video, you're gonna have to do this anyways if you want all 77 tickets. So I'm just here to guide you along the way. So I say 29 copies because take a look at this, right? You're going to want to awaken all of the copies to get this guy fully decked out in his hidden potential and all the way up to SA 25. So that is 1 copy for the SA 10 with 4 dupes hidden fed into him. So that's 15. That's 15 copies right there, right? You're gonna need another up to another SA 10. So that's 25 more copies there, right? And then another grinded all the way up to SA 5. So that's another 4 copies right there. So 29 copies of this Babidi you're going to have to grind out. And the drop rate honestly isn't too that bad. Wait till the weekend when you've got your 5 boost and you'll pick up in 2 or 3 runs with Worldwide Chaos. If you've got a full LR team, you'll have your copies in no time, especially with the Oolong boosted runs, right? Now for medals, you have 2 stages to grind out medals. You need, in order to awaken him from TUR to SSR to TUR, you're going to need, I believe it's 30, right? So you're going to need 90 of those medals, right? You're going to need 90 of the medals from stage 3, right? So again, Worldwide Chaos, run this until you get 90 medals. Make sure you're running the Z hard stage for the extra medals, right? For the TUR to LR, you're gonna need a little bit more. You need 150 of these medals total to fully awaken him all the way up to TUR, or all the way up to LR. So make sure you do the grind. You know, you don't have to do it all in one day, although I mean, about a full stamina run would get you it, right? I think I completed this in a full stamina run. I did have a bit of stamina overflow, but I mean, you should be able to complete it in a full stamina run, provided you're using a full LR Worldwide Chaos, and it'll be worth it in the end. Like I said, you need to do this grind and fully easy A this Babidi in order to get the last of your 77 tickets. So make sure you do so now. Don't skip out on it. For the Hercule is a little bit easier, right? Since he is only a TUR. You can pick up copies from him from stage 4 of the Super Warrior Memorial, Goku and Friends, using Earthbred Fighters. One of the easiest categories to pull LRs for. So run them stage 4, make sure you use your boost and your Oolong, and you'll have your 14 copies of him. Or correction, 19 copies of him ready to go. You'll need 19, 1 for the copy for the SA10 and to feed in your 4 dupes for his hidden potential, and then 1 for the SA5 copy, right? 5 more for the SA5 copy, totaling in 15 copies, or 19 copies rather, I apologize, and that'll get you everything you need to awaken him. Now for him, it's just one medal grind. Stage 8 of the Hercule Saga 2 of this stage will net you all the medals you need, and the medals are pretty simple. You'll need 20 medals for each character, so 40 medals in total, right? Because 20 to awaken him, 20 more to awaken the SA5. It does take a lot, it is a pain, but it's definitely worth it. I don't know why it doesn't show the Easy A here like it did for the Babidi, but it should be 40 medals total to awaken him fully for the SA10 and the SA5 copy, and you'll be good to go. And like I said, like the Babidi, you need to do this anyways if you want all of the tickets for your 77 ticket summon. Now, the big question you are asking, what should you do for your hidden potential? Well, for the Babidi, looking at what he does, looking at his stats, to be completely honest, as a free-to-play unit, he's not going to be dealing out massive damage except for that one standby move. And even then, you know, it's going to be hitting about as hard as like an Ultra Super from some of the more recent LRs, right? It's not going to be super big like the GT or Z Duo standby, right? But it'll be good enough for a free-to-play card. My personal opinion for free-to-play cards like this, especially since he's greatly raising on both his 12 and 18 key, I would personally go with additionals. Reason being is that, you know, you want to take advantage of that defense raise. He's got some crit already built into him, right? And even in his Majin Vegeta status, he has some crit built in as well. So you don't really need it, right? He's going to be hitting hard enough as it is. Him being a int unit, he's got some guaranteed dodge, right? He's got that 5 dodge, but I don't think dodge is the way to go, right? Because he's gonna be getting a bit of evasion in his base form anyways, right? So there's not really a need for it. 50% evasion is good enough, I think. With the additional 5, you're going to be more than fine. I think you really want to take advantage of his defense raising, in my personal opinion. I just think it's better off for him in the long run. You could invest a teeny little bit of crit, like I would say go additionals and then invest crit in his skill orbs, right? If you've got the skill orbs for Majin Buu Saga, or for, you know, just random skill orbs lying around to give him a little bit of crit, that's what I would do. I don't think dodge is the way to go on him personally, but you know, you do you. This is just my suggestions. For the Hercule, okay, for the Hercule, he is massively raising his defense for 1 turn. He also has this revive, right? He's also getting a lot of extra attack and defense depending on the context of the event, right? If you are able to attack a defense lower, he's got another extra 50% attack and defense, right? He also has guaranteed additionals if there is another world tournament, or correction, he also launches an additional if he lowers the enemy's attack and defense. So when you're in an event where you can take advantage of that, you don't really need the additionals, right? But he also has critical hit if he is sealed. So you really have to think about where you're going to be using this guy. I don't really think you're going to be using him in Red Zone, and to be completely honest, he might be useful in some Infinite Dragon Ball histories, but I do see him more as a Super Battle Road unit, specifically for Earth-Red fighters, Earthlings. He's going to be very powerful on the Earthlings team, provided you have other World Tournament characters around him, and quite a few of the Earthlings are also on that. So, personally, for him, he's one of the few units I think you would probably want to go a mix of dodge and additionals. And I say that because you want to take advantage of his massively raising defense. He doesn't have the greatest defense to begin with, so I would say give him a little bit of dodge and then a little bit of additionals. I think that's the way to go for the Hercule. Take advantage of what he's doing on his super attack, as well as being able to dodge those attacks. I don't think he really needs the crit because he's going to be getting it in the events you're going to be using them in when he seals the enemies. So you don't need the crit, right? The crit is guaranteed. So that's just my opinion on how to build these two characters. Obviously, you're welcome to build them however you see fit. I just feel like this is personally how I would use them and how I think it would benefit me the most in my play with these guys. But, you know, you're welcome to use them as you wish, and I would love to hear your builds in the comments down below. Let me know. So, anyways, guys, that is the video. That is the farming guide for the new anniversary free-to-play units. Remember, you want to do these so you can get all of your tickets to summon on the 7750 ticket multi, right? Make sure you do this. So if you guys liked this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, what do you think of my builds for this character and how would you build them if you disagree? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.